Kicking off this section is the Telegraph with another potential court date for former President Trump.
That's right. Trump is to be indicted imminently over classified documents, according to the legal team. The former president of the United States, former president, and the 2024 presidential hopeful is what they call him. He's being indicted for taking official or whatever it is, documents.
And this was to do with the raid on Mar-a-Lago, where they seized, I think, over 300 classified documents.
Yeah, but then again, Hillary Clinton took tons of stuff, and so did, and she wasn't even the president at the time, and so did Joe Biden. He had him in his back, he had him in his
garage. And Bill Clinton took stuff.
And everybody takes stuff. But what this is...
It's like stealing from work, you know, when you're like, if I take this mug home with me, it would be the same as... You know, Trump stealing some classified documents from the FBI.
Are you mentioning that I stole?
You do. I've seen you.
Have you heard that happen?
He did actually steal a mug.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Well, I caught it on CCTV. So. Nick, there is something about this. I mean, Trump says that he was able to declassify any documents he wants because he was a president. But the way he said it was, a president can declassify even by thinking about it.
Just by thinking about it. Like that. Like that, and it's done.
I mean, it's funny.
It's like I thought of that one.
It's a funny thing to say, but it's not very convincing, is it?
Well, he says, no one has told me I'm being indicted, and I shouldn't be because I've done nothing wrong, block caps, but I have assumed for years that I'm a target of the weaponized DOJ and FBI. And, of course, bombastic, but he's absolutely right. I mean, the Biden administration is the end of America. See, it's not about Biden himself. They could have had any puppet. It's the administration which is prepared to use lawfare, is prepared to use the intelligence department against a candidate like Trump. And it's very, very dangerous. And anyone who's in favour of this is completely wrong.
You don't think the Republicans would be prepared to use lawfare?
Well, they haven't been until now to this level, and that sets a precedent, and now they might be. And the only way the Democrats can save themselves is if they bring in someone like RFK Jr., who I'm sure they're going to try and block from getting the nomination, but he needs to be the candidate, and he would be a great candidate. You see, I'm not partisan. I would vote for him or Trump. I'd look at their agenda or their platform. I could vote for DeSantis, Trump, or RFK Jr., but people like Biden, they're just a swamp, and this is very dangerous what they're doing.
OK, Lewis, what about this idea that Trump says, that he's a target of the weaponized DOJ and FBI? Even if that is not the case, it is certainly the case that this kind of court action can be spun in that way by Trump and will be lapped up by his supporters. I mean, Nick is a very good example here.
Well, actually, it's the other way around. I think that the Biden administration and the Biden people are doing this deliberately to bring votes into Donald Trump.
Yeah, because they want Trump to run, don't they?
And the more that they want him to run, they don't want DeSantis to run because he's so much higher quality. And so it's unbelievably cynical. And I think Donald Trump is probably lapping this up.
What about
that,
Nick?
I think that's too much credit. I think they're just attacking with everything they've got. I don't think they're actually trying to make DeSantis.
But you do agree, though, that they would be terrified that if DeSantis were to run. I mean, that would be a terrifying prospect. DeSantis versus Biden. I mean, come on.
No, I don't agree. I think Trump is the more terrifying prospect because he has the charisma. If you look at DeSantis, he had that very weak Twitter launch on Twitter Spaces. He's not in the same league as Trump. I understand the 4D chess argument. They're terrified of DeSantis. I think they're equally terrified, if not more terrified, of Trump. Because DeSantis also is thought to be a more establishment type of guy.
But Trump doesn't look like he can win against Biden, just according to the polls. And I know, I recognise the polls are
not the polls
wrong.
I've seen. The ones I've seen says he and DeSantis are both leading, and that wasn't even a right-wing.
I think Nick is wrong. I think DeSantis is like a mature candidate. Is what Biden was supposed to be when he ran against.
Well, I think the point with DeSantis is he was able to swing Florida entirely to the Republican side from being very, very low down, which would suggest that he's the kind of candidate who can swing those people in the middle who aren't sure which way to vote.
In a fair election, Trump or DeSantis will annihilate Biden.